Leading up to Paris, we wanted to do a lot of education with communities so that people knew what was going on, but also felt inspired to act, because Paris is not a ending point, it's really just a beginning. Like, we're going to have a lot of pledges and people are going to be really excited, but it's really important that we uphold things and like get people moving on the ground to make sure that all of these pledges and things happen. So we've been going around the country, mostly the West Coast and some of the Midwest, to talk to campuses and communities about climate change, climate policy, and what they can actually do about it leading up to Paris, during Paris, and next year. So the Paris event is the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change Conference of the Parties. And essentially what that is the UN negotiations where they talk about international climate treaties. And so they're going to be coming up with an agreement under COP21, which is the Conference of the Parties, the 21st Conference of the Parties. And this agreement is what everyone is really excited about, and is going to be the first international agreement where all countries will be signing on, and that will be taking place in December. A couple of friends and I from around the world were like brainstorming about how we could build this political will and show that people care about climate. And so the idea was to create a symbol, like the peace sign or human rights equal sign, because we haven't had an image that people can identify with. Additionally, a lot of the messaging around climate change is very much so doom and gloom. And so we wanted to talk about solutions, wanted to help promote solutions, and then wanted to connect the movement through a unifying climate symbol. We started Care About Climate officially in 2014, and we are just getting going with a lot of our work.
I think the people who have been messaging climate change as being this is a sacrifice, this is we're doomed if we don't, which of course is true, but the way that's messaged in our particular fragile society, we're not prepared to handle that kind of message. Yeah. We are too easily distracted, too eagerly distracted from that kind of message. But if we say, hey, let's build this economy in a way that we don't have to be so dependent on rogue nations and their oil. Yeah. Well, I mean, that reaches some people in other ways that you kind of guilting them into submission.
Yeah.
So
I like that. I think the thing that I've learned most is mainly about like what people are doing on the ground. I guess there's a lot that I wasn't sure was actually happening on the ground. Like people are always talking about building a political will, but it's there and everyone is working on this stuff. Even today we went to a event which was like Act on Climate in Arizona, and there were at least 100 people talking about what they could do locally to have impacts on climate change globally and make sure that we prevent it. And so it's really inspiring to see local communities do this. And this definitely wasn't just in Arizona. We saw this everywhere, from Bozeman, Montana, where we saw transition towns. There are individuals who are working on trying to make their community just more sustainable in general, to Corvallis, Oregon, where they are participating in a national competition to increase energy efficiency and reduce the energy that they're using overall. And so you see all these local movements around the world, or around the country and the world, and it's been really inspiring to see that there's so much local movement to really try to change the conversation.
To verify that they live in Corvallis, that's why we need the address, the email, is because it's online, so how much
By the way, I work with Care About Climate, and we're doing like a road trip to Paris, and so like I go to the UN climate summits every year.
Okay.
And so I'm talking to students around the country about like climate change, climate policy, and like what they can do about it. And then Jacqueline reached out to me saying she wanted to do a National Day of Action. And I'm like, okay, well, we could do something for Care About Climate, but I'd rather support like a local initiative. And I'm like, go find one. And so she's like, oh, I know one. And then
great.
That's where Take Charge Corvallis came from. So are having people today write down on like light bulbs what their bright ideas for climate action are. And we can hang it up with other light bulbs if you're interested. And then if you want, you can take light bulbs, and then we have cozies, and then this is a climate symbol sticker. So lots to do and see.
So proud. Yay. 1, 2, 3. Yay.
Learn how to reduce energy in your house, get free sticker, everything is great. You look mildly interested.
I would, but I don't, yeah. You should be mildly interested. It's our climate we're talking about here. Hey, find out about how you guys can get some free light bulbs. Andrew!
Hey, I've got a hybrid, does that count?
Yeah, you're doing so much for the environment.
Yes!
I'm so proud of you. What we're doing is we're working with Take Charge Corvallis, getting people into reducing their energy consumption. Did you know that if you live in a single family home, which I know you don't because you're living in, but next year or whatever, you can get 16 free LED light bulbs. It's just that easy. You don't have to sell your firstborn child.
16
you do
free ones.
These 2 steps and you get some bomb-ass light bulbs. Do you see these light bulbs, people? You can get these for free. I know you want some. Come back. Hi, my name is Jacqueline Logs and I'm a student here at Oregon State. I planned the People's Climate National Day of Action here in Corvallis, and I'm going blind because of this sunlight. It's been a fun day. We've had some good turnout, and I think we've inspired a lot of people here to win $5 million.
So why do you care about climate change? What inspired you?
Climate change has always been something that I've cared about since I was a child, and now that I've gotten older, it's something that I've wanted to turn into a career, and I want to get other people just as inspired as I am.
How do you get people inspired?
I think you need to change their values. You know, I think too many people value materialistic things, and I think we're all guilty of it, but I think if we change people's values to care more about the environment and like where we live and how we treat the planet, I think that we could actually see some good.
So on this road trip, we visited multiple states, which includes Arizona, California, Nevada, Washington, Oregon, Montana, and Utah. We plan on visiting Missouri and Illinois as well. So far we've given 12 presentations, done 2 tabling activities, have talked to over 600 people about these UN climate negotiations, and have really done a lot of outreach to see what people are doing at home. So I am hoping that people will take this opportunity. The Conference of the Parties is a really big deal. Everyone's really excited about this agreement. So I'm hoping that people get active and start participating in it, because it's going to take a political movement to really solve this issue.